guys. We're not in a car traveling at 75 miles an hour this week. You should all be very happy that we're being much more careful today. We thought we'd dedicate this broadcast to board books. It seems that lately we've been getting like dozens of them, and we love them because they're fast reads. We know lots of young moms who love these books. Right now we're putting them together for a particular project that the university is going to be involved in down the road. So we thought we'd share with you the various kind of guises or types of board books there are. And we're going to start with, I think, the one we're probably most familiar with, and that's the toy book. I've got this one, Karen's got that one.
Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
And mine is called Baby's First Bear. So when you open it up, the first thing that you can do is open it up and take out your little toy, and then you can read the book. I'm not going to open it. I'm not going to open it because I don't want to break the seal.
There's a little star.
But you have, simple kinds of text here, and for Twinkle Twinkle, you've got a collection of Mother Goose nursery rhymes. So it's not just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. One of my favorite board books with toys is Pat the Bunny, Pat the Cat, Pat the Dog, all those variations thereof. So we love these really kind of simple board books. The next kind that we have here are Lift the Flap, Pop Up, Twirl a Wheel. In other words, Karen uses the right term, interactive board books. So here's the new Robert Sabuda, which is out of its little plastic wrap just for a little while. It's called The White House. And of course, if you know Sabuda, you know how incredible the pop-ups are. The paper engineering is just astonishing. And this is just a really short tour of the White House, including the Oval Office and the building itself. I have a collection of these. I have a lot of Robert Sabuda books, but I also have Jan Pienkowski, who's from, I think, Poland. I love pop-up books, and so did my 8th graders. This is what I'd put out on the whiteboard ledges the first day of school as I was doing all the stuff that you have to do before you can actually talk to kids.
This is a series, My Little World. We have a couple of these in this batch, but this is, it's a big one, so it's a large size, see, compared to like a normal board book here. Finding First Animals and More. So when you go inside, you have like a setting, and then under each of, or there's a bunch, here's like one right here. You'd lift the flap. And so inside you're just, so the pets are hiding in the house. Can you find a dog and a mouse? Well, I can also find a cat. And there's a dog underneath here, and the cat's behind a ball, and the mouse is in the car. So it just is and there's animal sounds. What a cub grows up to be when you open it, it's a bear. So several different things about animals, and so it's Finding First Animals, so it's learning about a lot of different animals.
I love concept books because they used to be just number, color, kind of shape, but now when we have these interactive ones, we get into much more, I think, difficult kinds of concepts, more abstract kind of concepts, which means these board books are not just for little kids.
Right.
And certainly I'm a big kid who likes them a lot. This is Wilderness, and it's an interactive world of animals. And so it starts with small animals. It gives you the places in which they live, so their habitats. So are they found in the Western Hemisphere? Are they found in the Northern Hemisphere? Thank you, Karen.
So like here's a picture of a bear, and then underneath it gives us facts about the grizzly bear and its habitat.
So little kids are going to love
Look at that.
Just being able to lift flaps
underneath
and reveal what's underneath.
And there's text under all of these flaps.
Yeah, these are books that really do require the interaction of the young reader and probably an older reader too, to kind of answer questions.
This one is in focus. Close-ups, cutaways, 10 illustrators, cross sections. Gosh, this one is just, it's really. So like here's, look at there, outside the ocean. Look at there, inside here of a whale. Look at there. Inside these animals. Out landmarks. So it's lift the flap. So there's inside the Statue of Liberty, inside a pyramid, inside the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So they're cutaways of various places.
You're going to find lots of books that have older audience kind of appeal here. And I think that this is one of them. I absolutely adored this book. I posted out about it last week. It's called All My Treasures, A Book of Joy. And I think, hanging on to things that give us joy is difficult. And there's a wonderful little story that goes along with it, that Grandma gives me a special gift, a beautiful porcelain box, and she gets to choose the perfect treasure to put inside. And so she says, I can use anything. I could put in my nesting dolls. I could put in, and of course when you open the nesting doll, you see that inside are some other things besides just the nesting dolls. My fingers are in the way. 2 big fingers for operating this book. But they're all the things that give her pleasure. Rainy days go inside her box because she loves rainy days and going out and playing in her boots and carrying her favorite umbrella and doing things like that. So even things we don't necessarily think of as joy. On Sundays, we cuddle. And so she's got a bunch of little cuddly sheep, and underneath the sheep, we've got little things kind of hidden there.
Oh, taking a nap.
Yeah. So just wonderful things that can bring us joy, and how we can collect them, not necessarily in an actual porcelain box, but in our hearts. I just love this book.
So we're moving on to, I would say this kind of category is board books that have already been another kind of book. So maybe a traditional picture book, and now they're putting it out in board book form. This one probably out of this little set here is I really like this one, Seeking a Witch by Angela Dieterlizzi.
I think so.
Okay. Well, what I love about it, it's got a good rhyme. The rhythm, it really goes off your tongue really well. So it reads easily. Also, it's Halloween, so that's also fun. But I love the color scheme in this whole book. It's just the fluorescent type colors throughout the whole thing, and I loved it. It was an enjoyable read.
The one that I'm happy to see in board book is Sweetest Kulu. This comes from Inhabit Media, and Inhabit Media is a press that publishes Native American work. And I love knowing that when I look at Inhabit Media books, they've been vetted. I'm getting books that really do show the culture accurately. I loved the picture book Sweetest Kulu, and this retains the story that's in Sweetest Kulu, but does it in baby book form. Just absolutely gorgeous.
This is Sleepyheads. It's the story of where animals sleep at night, and then there's particularly one animal that doesn't sleep at night, and that happens to be the owl. And it says why. It's because it sleeps during the day, but it goes through out in the forest, and then it works into the house, and then there are animals sleeping in the house, and finally it goes to a baby, and it's sleeping in mama's arms in the house. So it kind of goes from a broad view inside a little bit more narrow.
And these books take picture books that might be a little hazardous in young hands, to say that nicely, and gives them that board book feel to it. So kids can put it in their mouths, because we know they're going to do that. They can slobber on them, they can fall in the tub, they're still going to be okay. This next set of 4 books are board books, but they're unlike anything else. And Karen and I both love this series. It's called Cozy Classics. And we must admit, when I saw Moby Dick in board book form for the first time, I just went, no, just no. But here's Les Miserables in board book form. And they basically have the same basic format. You have these wonderful little dolls that are your main characters.
I think the dolls are kind of creepy, but that's okay.
But that's okay. Well, they have beards and stuff. And you get 1 word per book, per page. So poor, rich, sad. And what you're getting, I think, are kind of like the feelings, the emotions of the books. So here's Les Mis.
Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. This one I really like. It's my favorite out of this bunch. I feel it gives a good feel of the story and kind of takes you through very nicely. I love all the first pages because they all are kind of a variation of this, like them in front of the page of the story. So here he is, boy, in front of an actual page.
This is the Nutcracker, and so it takes kids who might be getting ready to go see the ballet and gives them the basic words there. Sweets, dreams, king, prince, love. Also in this series that we're not going to show you today are things like Great Expectations, Pride and Prejudice,
War and Peace,
Moby Dick, and the last one today,
Emma. And so just to show you the pretty first page, there she is with, it says chapter 1. So I just love the first pages for sure. But yeah, Emma.
I've never been a big fan of Jane Austen, to tell you the truth, but I can read this.
Yeah.
And I can read it quickly. The next and probably final section we have are the kind of interactive concept board books. So you've got lots of touch and feel, lots of interaction going on. This is Goodnight Farm, and you can rub your fingers. This is the kind of thing I absolutely loved about Pat the Bunny when I was little. But you can rub your fingers over the cow, and it's nice and soft. And you can go inside, and you find other things that you can touch as well.
The horse's
yeah, here's the
mane.
horse's mane. So kids get an opportunity to understand what's going on in these pictures. There's the sheep's wool. And it actually has the right texture for things like that.
Yeah.
So these are farm animals, and it comes with a little gentle, rhythmic kind of story that goes along with it.
This is Noisy Baby Animals. It's also a touch and feel. So inside you have the puppy, and it talks about the puppy, and then there's a penguin, also same. The different one in this one is the elephant, and so it's kind of like leather, suede-ish or whatever, so I like that feel. This one's different in the fact that it has all of the animals do their sounds at the end of the book. So that is the Noisy Animal Babies.
And then animal noises.
Oh, here's another. This is Animal Noises. I also like this one. I like this one a lot. It also, see, it has the bright colors again. I don't know if that's just something I like today or not. But it has a nice little rhythm, more than just the information, like the chickens wake the farm each day. Cluck, 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 the chickens say. So that's the page one. So that's Animal Noises.
And as long as we're talking about the farm, this is touch and trace.
Love
the
this
farm.
one.
So not just touch and feel, but touch and trace. And if you look here, it shows you where to start. There's a little asterisk.
Come over more.
Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, as she fades out of the picture. But it shows you how to run your fingers so that you're tracing the appropriate things. So that when you open the book, you can see sometimes I'm running my finger in a straight line. Thank you, Karen. And sometimes it's a wavy line.
And then it says here, so here's a straight line, tells you to run your hand, and then it says, now let's find it in the gate. So you open it up, so here's the gate, and it says, look, a straight line for the horse to jump. So it gives you the nature or some other kind of application of that shape of line. And it gives a bunch of different kinds of lines, wavy.
And that kinesthetic interaction where you get to put your fingers in and trace it, and then followed up by, here's where we see it in the farm. Just incredible amount of teaching.
Really
that can be
liked
done
this
here.
one. Go do this one, seeing as we're touching.
Well, yeah, since we're touching and feeling, this is Touch and Feel ABC.
Love it.
From Chronicle books. It's part of their Touch, Think, Learn books. And we've loved every single one of them. I love alphabet books.
Even the spine has the cutouts.
And the cover does too. So you open it up, you have A is for alligator and B is for bird. So you can see them raised right here.
Yep.
What happens when you close the page is that the A fits into the alligator, the B fits into the bird. So there's not any pop-up, there's nothing to kind of get destroyed along the way. Sometimes the letters, you have to look a little bit closer, like the J in jungle is part of the cat's tail. It's a good introduction to kids, not only for ABCs, but also for words, for animals, for things like that. So it's called Think, Touch, Learn, ABC.
Yeah, just perfect for those kinesthetic learners. Again, I loved it. All right, 100 First Words. So this one gives you the picture with the words, but then on each page there are a few things that are like just pictured with no detail, and it lets you guess. And so then you can lift the flap and it shows what those are underneath. So like there's the robot and the teddy bear. So each page has one of those, and it's different sets of things. So there's clothing, there's farm animals, transportation, and so on.
Now I know you want to do that,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll go ahead and take this one.
Okay.
I know when Karen wants to do a book, trust me. This is Big Fish, Little Fish, so we're looking at opposites, which is a really tough concept for kids. What's big, what's little is kind of relative, especially when you're a kid. You can see from the cutout here that we're going to go from big to little as we go in. So you've got the first cutout right here. Hello, hello, hello. And as we go along, we're going to get progressively a little bit smaller. The fish will be getting smaller. Sometimes it's because they're slower. Sometimes it's because they can't hide as well from other creatures. So you're learning a little bit about aquatic life as well. There are lots of little finger holes for you to stick your busy little fingers in. Hello, 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 which kids will love to do. And there's a rhyme as well to each page. So we go from largest eventually down to the smallest fish.
Okay, and this is Zip It, the first book of fasteners. So this one's fun. So it says, zip Froggy's mouth from side to side. See it shut and open wide. So we have a nice zipper to play with. And I'll zip him closed. But then there are, what is this one? A button for the pig's nose. What is this one? Oh, Velcro.
Yep.
And then there's a collar, a snap. So that, they're very simple. Oh, and then a string. So 5 different fasteners for kids to actually, that they can practice with.
Think about the small motor skills that those all take. I think it's pretty amazing. This is Hello World, a celebration of languages and curiosities. And it looks very much like a coffee table book. And I think it is a beautiful coffee table book. It'd probably be one that I would pull out so that kids can kind of browse on them. So it introduces you to the world at large, gives you lots of facts and figures. Some of them are here, but some of them are also in little flaps.
Oh, you can't see the flaps up here.
Oh,
You're too
sorry.
So like there are a bunch of
forgotten
little flaps
everything there.
everywhere. So it says hello there, and then it says about 800, hello, English, about 840 million speakers. So English. But then there are different languages down here, and then you flip the flap and it says what it's saying. So this gives you pronunciation. I'm not going to try. Then it says don't be shy. And then it says, what's this one?
These are new, so
Good
the flaps
luck
are stiff.
in Japanese. So there's just a lot of things with culture and geography.
So that's all about language, and then you turn and you've got stuff about environment, different climate zones. Basically, it's kind of a never ending.
It looks like it's focused by continent.
Yeah, focused by continent, so you can go to Asia and Africa, Europe, and study those.
And the language in these places are all over the place on those little flaps, so kids can actually see what that language looks like.
The first double page spread was hello. The last double page spread is goodbye.
Cool.
So a nice little full circle.
It's a huge book.
Yeah.
It's very, very big. You can see, there again, for size. So, think about it's going to be with your atlases. That kind of thing. So it's big.
So, look at the variety just in board books.
Yeah.
And you can see why Karen and I spend a huge portion of our time reading, and why we like to collect these. And right now, there are about 3 or 4 people in our department who are aching to get their hands on these, but we're actually going to hide them away for our secret project. Don't tell them.
That's right.
Because if they wanted to see them, they've been sitting out on a table for 2 weeks waiting for Karen and I to be in the same place at the same time, which we are today, and we will be from now on. So
yeah, we're back into a swing of things now since the semester is about to start up again.
So we might actually get to poetry part 2 sometime soon.
Yeah.
So look forward to talking to y'all soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.